My child, stop right now wherever you are. Do not scroll past this encounter because heaven has set an invisible clock for this exact moment. I insist that you see this today. You did not arrive here by accident or simple chance. My spirit drew you into this quiet space for a holy purpose. You have been carrying a heavy load in secret, and I am stepping into your path right now to give you rest. Before you take another step or move to the next video, hear my voice. Heaven does not call an ordinary meeting, and this encounter was scheduled in eternity long ago. You felt a gentle pull today that brought you right here to this message. That was not your algorithm or your curiosity working in the background. That was my hand reaching through the noise of your busy world to grab your attention. I insisted on this moment because your soul cannot take another day of endless waiting. I have watched you during the quiet hours between midnight and morning when sleep would not come to your weary eyes. I sat beside your bed while your mind turned over every unanswered question and every fear about tomorrow. You stared at the dark ceiling, feeling completely alone in that quiet room, but you were never truly alone. I saw every single tear that fell onto your pillow when nobody else was watching you. I saw the smile you wore like armor during the daytime just to keep everyone else comfortable. You walked into every room with a brave face while your heart was quietly falling apart inside. You made sure everyone around you was cared for, but nobody stopped to ask if you were okay. You have been running on empty for so long now. You poured out every drop of your strength for others until you had nothing left for yourself. Hear me clearly today, my precious child. I am not speaking to you with anger, nor am I coming to demand more work from your tired hands. I am here to lift what you were never meant to carry by yourself. Lower your guard right now and let your shoulders drop. You do not have to perform for me or pretend to be strong in my presence. You are safe in this quiet space, and you can finally breathe again. You wondered why the doors remained locked and why heaven seemed so silent during your hardest season. You thought my silence meant that I had abandoned you or forgotten my holy promises. I tell you today that my silence was not rejection. It was my protective hand holding you back until the foundation was strong enough to support your destiny. I insisted on this meeting today because the long season of holding your breath is coming to an end. There are 3 heavy seals that have kept your life in a holding pattern for far too long. First is a seal of financial lack that drained your resources right when you needed them most. Second is a seal of mental confusion that kept your mind spinning in endless circles every night. And third is a seal of relational pain that left deep wounds inside your heart. Today, I am stepping in to break every single one of those heavy seals over your life. Do not turn away or let your attention wander during this holy hour. The adversary knows that a permanent shift is taking place in your spiritual atmosphere right now, and he wants to distract you before the work is done. Stay with me until the end of this message. If you walk away early, you risk leaving the blessing unsealed, but if you stay, your soul will find true freedom. Take a deep, slow breath right now and let the peace of heaven fill your lungs. Feel the heavy weight completely leaving your chest as you listen to my voice. Declare your amen in your heart right now if you feel this divine appointment shifting your spirit. The turnaround you prayed for in secret is no longer far away. It begins in this exact minute, and nothing on earth can stop what I have started. Why did I insist that you see this today? Because you were standing right at the edge of giving up on your dreams. I saw you whisper in the dark that you could not handle another week of this heavy pressure. I saw you reach your absolute limit, where your faith felt like a tiny spark about to go out forever. That is why I personally intervened in your story. I set this exact time aside to rescue your spirit before you made a wrong turn out of sheer exhaustion. You passed the hardest test, my child, the one you did not even know you were taking. You kept going with trembling hands and tears on your face. That was not weakness in my eyes. That was holy endurance, and heaven takes record of every single moment you refused to quit. The fire you walked through was not sent to destroy you, but to separate the gold from what was never meant to stay. You thought you were falling apart, but you were actually being made into something unbreakable. The test is now complete, and the long season of waiting is standing directly behind you. Your reward stands ahead, and I insist that you claim it today with confidence. Stay close to me now as we move forward, because I am about to open the hidden places of your heart that you kept locked away for years. I am going to show you why every single trial in your past was actually positioning you for a massive breakthrough. Let my words wash over your soul like cool water on dry ground, for the chapter of weariness is closed, and your divine restoration begins right now. Let us step deeper into the hidden places of your soul where you felt so lonely. I know what happens when the daylight fades away and the world goes quiet around you. You put down your phone, you lie on your bed, the heavy silence fills the room. And suddenly, every single thought you managed to push away during the afternoon comes rushing back into your tired mind all at once. The battle in your mind begins in those dark hours when there is no distraction left to protect you. Your brain starts running through every worst-case scenario about your future and your finances. You replayed old conversations. You wondered what you did wrong. You asked why you are still stuck. And as the clock ticked past midnight, you felt a crushing weight resting on your chest that made it hard to breathe. I sat beside you on that bed while you tried so hard to quiet your racing heart. I watched your fingers wipe away the silent tears before they could hit your blanket. You tried to stay strong. You tried to quote scriptures. You told yourself to have faith. But inside your spirit, you felt completely drained from fighting a war that nobody else even knew was happening. You have become an expert at putting on a brave face for everyone around you. Every morning, you get out of bed and put on that bright smile like a suit of armor. You ask others how they are doing. You listen to their problems. You offer words of hope. And even when your own heart is breaking into pieces, you make sure that everyone else feels safe and loved in your presence. They look at you and think that you have everything figured out. They think you are strong because you never complain or ask for help when things get hard. But they do not see the painful price you pay in secret for carrying everyone else on your shoulders. You carry their fears. You carry their burdens. You wear your smile like a shield so they will never see how exhausted you really are. I see the deep exhaustion that sits behind your eyes when you look in the mirror. You are tired of being the strong one for your family and your friends every single day. You are tired of pretending that you are okay when you feel like you are barely surviving inside. You wondered if anyone in this big world would ever step up to carry you for once. The hardest part of this journey was not just the physical weariness or the financial pressure. The hardest part was the overwhelming feeling that heaven had suddenly gone silent in your time of need. You knelt down by your bed and poured your heart out in prayer. You cried out for a clear sign, a sudden answer, or a small ray of hope to hold on to. And yet, day after day, the silence remained completely unbroken in your room. You looked at the sky and wondered if your prayers were getting past your own ceiling. You asked if I was angry with you for something in your past. You wondered if I had turned my face away from your pain and left you to fight this heavy storm all by yourself. Hear me clearly right now, my precious one, because I need to heal that wound today. Your feelings of abandonment were real, but the thought that I left you was a complete lie from the enemy. I was not absent during those long silent nights when you wept in the dark. I was standing right beside your bed holding your spirit together so that the pressure would not crush you. I heard every single prayer that you whispered into your pillow when you had no words left to speak. Not a single drop of your tears was wasted or forgotten by heaven. I kept every tear in a sacred bottle, and I wrote down every silent groan in my book. You thought I was ignoring your pain, but I was actually standing guard over your soul while you were being tested. I know how much it hurt when people you loved failed to notice your suffering. You gave them your best energy, your time, and your unconditional love when they were struggling in their dark seasons. But when your storm arrived, they walked away or looked the other way. They took your strength for granted and left you to pick up the broken pieces all alone. I see the deep disappointment that has settled inside your wounded heart. You felt betrayed by those you trusted, and you wondered why your loyalty was answered with neglect. I want you to drop the heavy armor right now and let your weary heart rest in my presence. You do not need to keep pretending for me, because I love you exactly as you are in this moment. You do not have to fix yourself before you come to me with your brokenness. Bring me your honest doubts, your deep fatigue, and even your hidden anger about the long delay. I am strong enough to handle your grief, and my love for you is not shaken by your weakness. The season of wearing that exhausting mask is over today, and you can finally rest in my arms. I am validating every tear and every quiet ache that you felt during this dark chapter. Your pain was real, your struggle was heavy, and your sacrifice did not go unnoticed by heaven. Hold tight to my voice, because I am about to show you why the silence was necessary and how your darkest night is about to turn into your brightest morning. Now let me open your eyes to the truth about the silence you experienced. You thought I was ignoring your voice. You felt like you were abandoned in a vast wilderness with no path forward. But what if I told you that my silence was actually a sign of deep divine trust? When a master builder lays a foundation, he does not shout every second while placing the heavy stones. He works in quiet focus because the structure requires absolute precision. I kept quiet because I trusted your faith to hold steady while I was working on something massive behind the scenes. An immature spirit needs constant noise and instant validation to feel secure every single day. But you were being trained for a higher level of royal authority that requires deep inner strength. Think about the doors that slammed shut in your face during this last year. You wept when those opportunities fell apart right before your eyes. You begged me to open those paths because you thought they held your success and happiness. But I saw what was waiting further down those roads, and I locked those doors to save your life from hidden destruction. If I had allowed you to walk through those doors back then, the weight of that toxic environment would have crushed your spirit completely. Those people would have used your kindness until you had nothing left to give. The deal that failed was a snare set by the enemy to bind your future in heavy debt. My closed doors were not rejections, but my active redirection away from subtle traps. You called this season a lonely wilderness, but heaven calls it a sacred nursery. In the wilderness, there are no noisy crowds to applaud you or distract your heart. There are no counterfeit comforts to lean on when your soul feels weary and weak. It was just you and me in that quiet space, learning how to walk together in real alignment. I brought you into the dry places so that I could strip away the false dependencies that were keeping you small. You depended on the approval of unreliable people for your sense of worth. You trusted in temporary security that could be taken away in a single moment. I allowed those worldly crutches to fall away so that you would learn to rely on my unshakable power. Look at the ancient story of King David when he was hiding in dark caves. He was anointed to be king, yet he spent years running through dry and barren deserts. He felt forgotten by his family and hunted by his enemies every single day. But those quiet caves were not his graveyard. They were the holy training ground where his royal character was forged. In the darkness of those caves, David learned how to wield spiritual weapons instead of relying on human strength. He learned how to hear my quiet whispers above the loud roaring of his fears. When he finally stepped onto the throne, he was completely unbreakable because his foundation was rooted in my presence. Your wilderness season served that exact same purpose for your future. I know you felt like you were falling behind everyone else in life. You watched people who cared nothing about righteousness move forward while you stayed stuck in place. You wondered why your honest hard work yielded such slow and small results. But you were not falling behind. You were being built into something that has never existed before. A small garden plant grows in just a few short weeks, but a mighty oak tree takes years to establish its deep roots underground. When the violent storms arrive, the small plant is easily uprooted and blown away into nothingness. But the oak tree stands tall and firm because its invisible roots are anchored deep inside the solid earth. You are that mighty oak tree in my kingdom. Do not measure your progress by the visible standards of a shallow world. What felt like a painful delay was actually heaven, holding back the storm until your roots were strong enough to bear the fruit. You are now rooted in faith, seasoned by trial, and ready for the massive increase that is coming your way. Take a moment right now and let this truth settle deep inside your soul. Stop mourning over the closed doors that were meant to protect your destiny from harm. Stop regretting the season of silence that refined your spiritual ears to hear my true voice. Inscribe these words in the comments right now. I accept your divine direction. Feel the quiet confidence replacing the old anxiety in your chest. Keep listening, my child, for there is a hidden test you passed in the wilderness that you did not even know you were taking. That hidden test was the turning point that officially brought your wilderness season to an absolute end today. I am about to show you what was really happening in the spiritual realm while you were standing in the fire, and your heart will rejoice when you see the truth. Let us talk about the hidden test that you passed in secret. You thought you were just trying to survive another painful week. You thought you were failing because your eyes were filled with tears, but heaven was watching your endurance with deep pride. And while you felt completely weak in your body, your spirit was actually standing unbroken in the middle of the raging storm. You did not realize that every single day you chose to stay kind was a silent victory over darkness. When people mistreated you, you chose mercy instead of bitter revenge. When fear whispered that all hope was gone, you still whispered a small prayer into the dark night. That was the hidden test, my child, and you passed it with flying colors. The adversary wanted you to turn bitter in the dark. He wanted you to curse my name and give up on your holy calling forever. He thought that if he pressed you hard enough, you would abandon your faith and walk away. But you kept going with trembling hands and a broken heart, and you proved to all of heaven that your devotion was real and pure. Now hear the truth about the fierce heat you felt in your life. You looked at the painful trials and felt like you were being completely destroyed. You looked at your shattered plans and thought you were falling apart into useless dust. But I tell you today that you were not being broken down. You were actually being broken open for a greater glory. Think of a precious alabaster jar holding expensive oil inside. As long as the jar stays sealed and untouched, the fragrant oil remains hidden from the world. But when the jar is carefully broken open, the sweet aroma fills the entire room and touches everyone nearby. Your trials did not destroy your value, but they released the divine ointment that was hidden deep inside you. You are like pure gold sitting inside the refiner's hot furnace. A skilled refiner does not put precious gold into the fire to burn it into useless ashes. He places it in the heat to separate the pure metal from the dross. And he sits right beside the furnace while watching the flame with patient eyes, never leaving the gold alone for a single second. He leans over the hot furnace and watches the liquid metal closely. How does the refiner know when the refining process is finally finished? He knows the gold is pure when he can look down into the furnace and see his own reflection clearly mirrored on the liquid surface. I sat beside your fire and watched over you until my love was clearly reflected in your spirit. Every painful moment was separating you from things that were never meant to stay in your future. The pride fell away. The reliance on human praise dissolved in the intense heat. The false security melted away until only true faith remained inside your heart. You came out of that hot fire as pure gold, fully refined and prepared for royal honor in my kingdom. Stop looking at your deep scars with shame or regret. Those scars are not marks of defeat, nor are they proof that you failed along the way. They are holy badges of your spiritual victory. They prove that you survived the worst attack of the enemy and came out standing strong, carrying anointing because you walked through the flames without letting your heart turn to stone. The enemy tried to bury you in that dark valley of testing. He threw heavy dirt over your dreams and thought he had ended your story for good. He celebrated your fall because he thought you were gone forever. But he did not realize that you were a seed planted in fertile ground, and what was meant to bury you actually became the nutrient that launched your growth. You are emerging from the soil right now into the bright sunlight of my favor. The season of being hidden underground in the dark is officially over today. The heavy heat of the refiner's furnace has completed its work in your life. You passed the hardest test, my precious child, and your long-awaited time of divine promotion is standing directly at the door. Feel the heat of that fierce trial leaving your mind and body right now. Let the lingering stress release from your shoulders and your chest as you listen to my voice. You do not need to fight those old battles anymore because the victory is already secured for you. You are pure gold, and your light is about to shine brightly before the world. Hold this truth tight in your heart as we move forward together. I am about to unveil who you truly are in my kingdom and why the enemy fought you so fiercely in that last season. Stay close to my voice, for your true identity as a royal heir is about to be fully restored in the very next minute. It is time to strip away the counterfeit labels that the world and the enemy put on your back. For years, you saw yourself through the lens of your past mistakes and painful wounds. You called yourself broken, abandoned, and forgotten by everyone you loved. But those negative labels were created by an enemy who wanted to keep you trapped in shame forever. Today, I am tearing down every single lie that kept your soul bound in dark fear and self-doubt. Stop defining your worth by the painful scars of what you walked through in that fierce trial. You are not a helpless victim surviving the storm by pure luck or human chance. You are a royal heir to the kingdom of heaven, chosen and set apart before the world was even formed. You carry a holy anointing written over your story long before you took your first breath. The adversary fought you so hard because he saw the royal crown resting on your head while you were still weeping in the dark. Look at yourself through my holy eyes right now and see your true strength. You are a mighty warrior who stood unbroken while the violent storm raged around your life every day. You carry spiritual authority in your voice that can shatter the plans of darkness with a single prayer. The enemy knows your true potential, and that is why he tried so hard to convince you that you were weak and useless. But today, your royal dignity is being fully restored to your spirit. You were picked to hear this message today because a massive shift is occurring in your identity. I am replacing your old spirit of weariness with a fresh garment of praise and holy confidence. You will no longer walk into rooms with your head bowed down in shame or fear of rejection. You will walk with the quiet dignity of someone who knows who their father is. You are my precious child, and nobody on this earth can take away the royal inheritance I prepared for you. Now let us speak about the painful losses that left deep wounds inside your heart during this past season. You wept when close friends suddenly walked away and people you trusted turned their backs on you. You wondered why your unshakable loyalty was answered with cold betrayal and sudden neglect when you were struggling most. You asked what you did wrong to make them leave, and you carried that heavy guilt like a dark cloud over your soul. Hear my voice clearly today, my child, because I want to heal that tender wound right now. Their departure was not your failure or your fault. It was my active, loving hand pruning your life to protect your sacred future. A wise gardener cuts away old branches not to hurt the vine, but to make room for a massive harvest of new fruit. I cleared those people out of your life because where I am taking you requires a completely different caliber of company. The smallness of where those people were comfortable could never hold the magnitude of your divine destiny. If I had allowed them to stay in your inner circle, their hidden envy would have poisoned the blessing I prepared for you. Their deep doubts would have dragged your faith back down into the mud every single time you tried to step forward. My pruning was my divine protection, holding you safe from spiritual poison that would have destroyed your joy and peace. I saw how they talked behind your back while pretending to be your friends to your face. I saw how they secretly celebrated when you faced setbacks and struggled to keep your head above water. I loved you too much to leave you in an environment where your spirit was being drained every single day. I removed them because they belonged to a chapter that you have already completed in my divine plan. Release the lingering anger and the deep bitterness against those who walked away from your side. Do not waste another precious tear longing for relationships that were only designed for a short, temporary season. Forgive them in your heart right now, and let them go with true peace in your soul. I am closing that chapter of relational pain so that I can open a brand new door of divine connections that will honor what you carry. I am bringing divine alignment into your life right now with people who will sharpen your faith and guard your heart. I am sending loyal companions who will pray for you in secret and stand beside you in every spiritual battle. You will no longer have to beg for love or force people to see your value. The right doors are swinging wide open, and the right people are walking into your story to help you carry your royal harvest. Stand tall right now in your true royal identity as my beloved child and vessel of honor. Lift your head high and feel the heavy chains of past rejection falling off your neck completely forever. The atmosphere is shifting in the unseen realm around you at this exact instant. Stay close to my voice, for the 3 heavy seals holding your breakthrough captive are about to be shattered completely in the very next minute. The moment of total deliverance has officially arrived. Hear the sound of spiritual change rattling right now. My divine presence fills your entire room. You felt weak for so long, but I am stepping into your battle today as a mighty warrior fighting on your behalf, and every scheme formed against your destiny is collapsing at this exact instant under the weight of my authority. I am stepping onto the battlefield of your life with divine authority. The forces of darkness that pushed against you are falling back. You felt defeated for many months, but I am lifting your head up high today, and I am placing a fresh crown of royal dignity upon your brow while your foes watch in total silence. I decree over your atmosphere that the enemy's time is over. The dark seal of mental confusion is broken. Sleep will no longer escape your eyes. That heavy cloud of anxiety pressed against your chest every single midnight, but today I command the spirit of peace to flood your mind and quiet every racing thought right now. You will no longer lie awake in the dark. Sleep will come to your weary eyes with sweetness. The invisible tormentor is silenced forever by my word. Feel the cool water of my peace washing away every lingering trace of exhaustion from your brain, and let your tired spirit rest in my safety from this night forward. Now, I turn my authority toward the heavy seal of financial lack. The adversary tried to lock you in a cage of debt. He wanted you to walk in constant shame. But I am breaking open the locked vaults of heaven to release your delayed provision today, and every barrier holding back your daily supply is crumbling into dust right before your eyes. Every spirit of sudden loss in your lineage is destroyed right now. I command your true harvest to come forth. Unexpected doors of favor are swinging wide open. What was stolen from your hands in the last season is returning to you in double measure, and your family will witness the abundant storehouses of my blessing overflowing in your home. Look at the 3rd seal of relational heartbreak and isolation. Cold rejection left deep wounds inside your soul. The enemy wanted your heart to turn into hard stone. But I am melting that thick ice right now with the warm fire of my holy presence, and I am healing every tender place where you felt completely abandoned by those you loved. I command every root of bitter pain to leave your soul this minute. Your broken family relationships are being restored today. I am sending true covenant friends to your side. Your days of being exploited by selfish people are permanently finished, because I am establishing divine connections that will honor your royal destiny for the rest of your life. Hear the mighty roar of heaven as all 3 seals shatter into dust. The seal of lack is broken forever. Mental confusion is shattered completely. Relational isolation is finished today. The heavy chains that bound your potential for years are falling off your neck right now, and you are stepping out of the dark prison of delay and into the bright sunlight of my unmerited favor. I am placing a new garment of praise over your shoulders right now. The old spirit of heaviness has lost its power over you. Your mouth will be filled with songs of victory. The enemy thought he had silenced your testimony in the wilderness, but I am putting a loud trumpet of prophetic joy into your spirit that will shake the foundation of your entire house. No weapon formed against your health or future shall prosper from this day forward. You are protected under my holy wings. The adversary was terrified of the power you carry. His reign of terror in your story is completely destroyed. Stand up tall in your royal victory, because the battle belongs to me, and the full reward belongs to you and your lineage forever. Feel the physical lightness taking over your entire body right now. The heavy weight on your shoulders is gone. Your spirit is rising with holy power. Take a deep breath of clean air into your lungs. You can feel the heavy cloud lifting off your chest, and you can speak with absolute confidence that every chain of darkness over your life has been destroyed forever. Heaven is keeping record of this sacred breakthrough today. The angels are celebrating your liberation in this hour. You walked into this message carrying heavy burdens, but you are leaving this sacred space as a victorious warrior, and your miracle is no longer a distant promise because it is actively unfolding in your life right now. I am writing a brand new chapter over your story today. Your enemies will stand in complete shock and awe. They expected to see your total destruction in the dark, but they will witness your divine elevation to royal honor, and they will see you blooming like a fertile garden after a long winter season. Stay steady in this holy moment as my power settles deep inside your soul. The 3 dark seals are shattered forever into dust. Nothing in hell can undo what I have done today. The long night of fear is over now, and your morning of unlimited joy has officially begun because I am placing the key of continuous abundance directly into your open hands. Now that the heavy strongholds have been broken, I am placing a divine key into your hands today. But to receive the full harvest of heaven, you must understand how a royal heir receives their blessing. Many people live their whole lives with a tight, clenched fist. They hold on to fear. They clutch their small resources. They dread tomorrow. And every day they worry about what they will lose next, instead of looking up to see the open windows of heaven. A clenched fist is a clear sign of a spirit trapped in fear. When your hands are squeezed tightly closed, you think you are protecting what little you have left inside your house. But you do not realize that a closed hand can never receive anything new from heaven. It keeps you locked in a small world of scarcity. It fuels constant worry. It blocks your blessing. I am asking you right now to open your hands in my presence. A royal heir walks through life with an open hand because they know their father's rich supply never runs dry. An open hand is not a sign of weakness or loss. It is a bold statement of absolute trust. And when you lift those open palms up to the sky today, heaven responds with a massive outpouring of divine grace. When you open your hands to me, you are telling heaven that you refuse to live as a slave to financial fear. You are declaring that your security does not come from human efforts alone. You are stepping out of the small puddle of human worry. You are leaving fear behind. You are stepping into abundance. And as you surrender your worries to me today, the heavy cloud of lack dissolves completely in my presence. Listen to me carefully, my child. This is the hour of your prophetic release. I am calling you today to place a seed of faith upon the stone altar of this calling. When you sow a seed in faith, you are not losing your resources. You are releasing an anchor into the glorious harvest that I have prepared for your family. A seed is a physical action that locks a spiritual shift into your earthly reality forever. What you keep in your hand remains limited to what your own strength can accomplish. But what you release into my hands becomes multiplied beyond your wildest imagination. That small seed turns into an unsealed reservoir of continuous provision. It flows into your home, it covers your children, and it opens doors of favor that no human being can ever shut against you. Look at the ancient laws of seed time and harvest that I established at the foundation of the world. A farmer does not sit in his house and weep over the seed he plants in the dark ground. He throws it into the soil with joy because he knows that one tiny seed will bring back a massive harvest. Your step of faith today activates that exact same spiritual law. I want you to make a bold declaration right now in this sacred atmosphere. Open your hands wide toward heaven and speak these words into your room. Inscribe these words in the comments right now so that all of heaven can witness your agreement. Declare out loud, I release my seed and I receive my harvest. Feel the deep power behind those simple words as you speak them out. Do not let fear whisper that you cannot afford to act in faith today. The enemy wants you to stay cautious and timid. He wants you focused on your temporary limitations. He knows that as long as your hands remain clenched, your breakthrough remains stalled at the door. But when you step forward with courage, the invisible seals over your wealth crack wide open instantly. I see the generous heart you have carried throughout your long seasons of trial. You helped others when you had very little left inside your own home. You gave your last bit of energy to comfort those who were hurting around you. Heaven has recorded every single act of kindness, and today I am turning those quiet sacrifices into your personal victory. Speak with authority into the atmosphere right now and declare your freedom out loud. Proclaim with confidence, I am free from the burden of yesterday. Say it again until the sound of your own voice settles the matter deep inside your spirit. The old debt of fear is completely paid off, and the new season of abundance is taking over every single area of your life from this minute forward. I am unsealing 3 distinct channels of supply for your lineage right now. The first is a channel of unexpected financial favor that will clear your heavy debts. The second is a channel of creative ideas and sudden wisdom that will build lasting wealth for your children. And the third is a channel of supernatural protection that will guard your harvest from every thief. Your seed upon the altar today is your covenant seal over these 3 channels of supply. You are telling the adversary that he no longer has any right to touch your finances, your mind, or your family. You are claiming your royal status as a child of the King, and you are stepping into the fullness of what was promised to you before time began. Open your hand wide right now and feel the heavy chains of financial lack snapping in two. Feel the warm breeze of my favor filling your heart with bright hope and unshakable peace. You are no longer striving in your own limited strength because my infinite power is working on your behalf. The seed is planted, the decree is locked, and your harvest is coming. Now, quiet your breathing, my beloved child. Take a deep, slow breath right now and let the heavy weight leave your chest completely. The long spiritual battle is no longer yours to fight in your own strength, because I have taken full command over your situation today. Close your physical eyes for a moment. Feel my deep peace settling over your mind like a warm blanket in the cold night. You have carried the weight of the world on your shoulders for far too long, but in this quiet hour, you can finally put down that heavy load and rest in my arms. The noise of your daily worries is fading away into complete silence. My presence is filling every corner of your room right now with divine light and safety. You are safe here with me, and nothing can harm you in my presence. Let us seal everything that has been awakened during this holy hour. Repeat these words in the quiet space of your heart as I pray over your life today. Heavenly Father, I place my family, my mind, my health, and my future into your loving hands right now. I receive the full freedom that was bought for me in the heavenly places, and I declare that every chain of delay and lack over my lineage is broken forever. I seal their home under the protective shadow of your holy wings right now. No weapon formed against their peace, their sanity, or their wealth shall ever prosper in this new season. I command my holy angels to encompass their dwelling place on every side. Let them sleep tonight in deep, undisturbed rest without any fear of tomorrow, knowing that you are guarding their soul while they sleep. The dark chapter of weariness and unanswered questions is closed forever. I declare that the morning of their joy has officially arrived with divine power and grace. What was held back in secret for years is now released in full measure into their waiting hands. Let your favor surround them like a heavy shield wherever they walk from this minute forward, and let your divine wisdom guide every single step they take. Now hear my final counsel, my precious child, regarding the miracle that is forming inside your life. Keep this private revelation quiet in your heart for a season. Do not run out to share this tender shift with cynical people who do not carry spiritual discernment. The world will try to steal your peace with loud noise and dark doubts before your miracle has time to take deep root in your soul. Protect the tender seed of your breakthrough in holy silence. Let your transformed life do the talking when the fruit becomes visible to everyone around you. You do not need to prove anything to those who doubted your calling in the dark valley. When they see your cup overflowing with peace and abundance, they will know that the Lord Himself has fought your battle and lifted your head to honor. Guard the spiritual atmosphere of your home with quiet faith and thanksgiving. Do not let old fears or negative words creep back into your conversations when you wake up tomorrow. Speak words of life, hope, and victory over your children and your work every single day. As you guard your mouth and keep your heart pure, the peace of heaven will remain anchored in your house forever. I am commissioning you today as a living proof of my divine restoration in this world. You are no longer defined by the dry wilderness that tested your faith for so long. You are stepping out as a carrier of divine light and royal authority to everyone you meet. Walk with your head lifted high, for you are my chosen vessel set apart before the foundations of the world for a great purpose. You will bring hope to those who are struggling in their own dark nights of the soul. When they see your quiet confidence, you will point them back to the Father who restored your life from the ashes. You are an intercessor standing in the gap for your family lineage. The blessings I am pouring over your head today will overflow onto your children and your children's children for generations to come. Step forward into your day with bold faith and unshakable courage. Do not look back at the dark valleys you walked through, because those chapters are completely finished. Every step you take from this moment on is ordered by my Spirit, and every door you approach will open at the sound of your voice. You carry the authority of a royal heir, and victory is your permanent inheritance. Keep this sacred connection strong as you step forward into your new chapter. Scan the QR code on your screen or check the direction left for you in the pinned comment below to join our faithful remnant community. Express your heart's agreement today so that this message can reach other weary souls who are searching for hope in the dark. And let your voice unite with ours in constant prayer. Write your final amen in the comments right now to seal this covenant forever in your spirit. Speak it with firm belief in your heart, for what I have declared over your destiny today shall come to pass, and nothing on earth or in hell can stop it. Go forth in my power, walk in my light, and live in my unshakable peace from this day forward. You are loved beyond measure by the Creator of the universe. You are never alone, for I am walking beside you through every open door that stands ahead. Rest your soul now in full confidence, knowing that your victory is already complete. Peace be still over your house, peace be still over your mind, and peace be still over your future forever.